Hey, how you doing?
Good man. Okay.
So how about we start with, do you want to introduce yourself?
I do, but I'd also like to read from my flyer.
Okay, sure, by all means.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Ryan St. Louis, and I'm asking for your support in the upcoming election for our chairperson position at Caesars Windsor. Sisters and brothers, I respectfully ask for your support in the upcoming election on June 2nd, 2023. With Caesars management contract set to expire and the possibility of bargaining with the new operator, it has never been more important to elect the right candidate as our chairperson. I have been employed at Casino Windsor since August of 1995. I have worked in various departments within the casino, including table games, slot technical, and food and beverage, giving me intimate knowledge in how these departments operate. I also have had the privilege of serving as an elected Zone A union steward for 6 years, representing security, table games, slot attendants, and casual usher ticket takers. And I have had many successes defending our membership and resolving long-standing issues. As a result of the pandemic, we have regressed on many issues, and it is worse now than it was over 10 years ago, as those of us working on the floor know. Now more than ever, we need leadership that is not afraid to say no and is capable of creating solutions to the challenges we face without signing away our collectively bargained rights and benefits. I am asking for your vote to continue our fight forward together. In solidarity, Ryan St. Louis.
That's impressive. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit more about your flyer then. You mentioned resolving long-standing issues and protecting and defending the membership. Can you be a little more specific or maybe even give a couple examples?
Sure, try. Um, can't be too specific with a lot of stuff. It's confidential information, but
Oh, I understand that, yeah, of course.
there was one issue, one big issue actually, was with security and disciplines. So at the casino, there's a code of conduct, which is basically a discipline matrix that sets out the different infractions and the severity of the infraction, suspension days, written, whatever it is, and then how you progress through the different steps. So one of the issues was whenever there was a issue with a minor coming in or an issue with alcohol, the security department would add suspension days on top of what the discipline matrix said. And they basically would always use the excuse that it was as per AGCO mandate. So when I first got elected and I first came across this issue, I wanted to call the Gaming Commission to verify what the actual mandate was. We asked security if they had anything in writing or could provide us any more details on that. They didn't have anything. So at the time, Diego was committee person. I was just a steward. And I wanted to call the Gaming Commission, but Diego was too afraid to.
It was
So,
his job.
should have been.
Okay.
So he asked me to call. I called. I spoke with the Gaming Commission, and long story short, all the Gaming Commission mandated was that when infractions occurred, that there was a discipline and that corrective action was taken, right? How much the discipline was, what the corrective action was at the casino's discretion,
Only the company, not the individual.
right? So what ended up happening was is that security officers say the discipline matrix said that they were supposed to serve a 10-day suspension. They were given, 10 and 20-day suspensions on top of that. And this had gone on for, I don't know, decades possibly before I actually got elected. So it was one of the issues we squashed. There was another issue again with security where they had officers being disciplined who were working at employee entrance, and they were being disciplined because minors were coming into shipping and receiving by being in the cab of delivery drivers. So again, first time I had this meeting, I was able to squash it simply by just asking questions and looking at what was reasonable. Do you know what I mean? And the security officers were not allowed to leave their post. They were not allowed to inspect the cars. And as a result, I didn't understand how they could be held responsible solely for these minors getting into shipping and receiving. Aside from the fact that we were paying these people, the company was paying these people to make these deliveries. So not only were they putting our gaming license in jeopardy, they were putting their own employer's gaming license in jeopardy. And I asked the company to reach out to these delivery companies and explain this to them. Also, too, I observed that The shipping and receiving entrance was the only entrance in the casino that didn't have a sign saying you had to be 19 years of age or older to enter the casino. So again, what I did was I called them every day, labor relations, and asked that a sign be put up until eventually they did put up 2 signs. One fell down, but I am proud to say that the one sign is still there. And what else? There was an issue with security, again, crashing their vacation pick. So the way it works is there's allotments that are given for the number of people that can be off on any given day when employees book their vacation.
What do you mean crashing?
Yeah, so basically what happened is because the company didn't account for enough allotments, there wasn't enough allotments left when we got to the bottom few security officers. So and we had told them ahead of time. Like, so the way the process works is the union will meet with different departments to go over the numbers to make sure that there's enough allotments because employees will get more vacation time as they accrue more seniority, up to 5 weeks. So we just double check everything to make sure that it runs smoothly. And I noticed right away that there was an error in their arithmetic. So I pointed this out to them. We actually had a couple meetings on it, and they basically said, the company said that no, they get their numbers from accounting, so there's nothing wrong with them, and that they were going to go ahead with the shift pick. So on the day of the actual shift pick, I had estimated we get down to the last 10 or 12 people, and there just wouldn't be enough spots for them to book vacation. I think it ended up being 8. But again, Diego wasn't there. He was off golfing or something. And so the company wanted to just basically plug in extra weeks to allow everybody to get their vacation. Well, I wouldn't agree to that. I made them do the whole pick over again because that would have disadvantaged anybody who had picked before them. Aside from the fact, like I said, I mean, we had the conversations. It wasn't enough allotments. It was all there was to it.
That's crazy. What do you think your critics might say about you?
I would say honestly that the biggest thing that probably people are going to hear is just about the fact that I've never physically sat in bargaining. I was an elected steward for 6 years. Bargaining is really a team effort, and I was involved behind the scenes while I was a union rep. And more importantly, though, I don't think that bargaining is the biggest aspect. I mean, it's a very important aspect of what the chairperson does, but it isn't solely what the chairperson does. I think that the running of the day-to-day operations, the defending of the contract, of the language, is far more important. The interpretation of it, you know what I mean, is something that is struggled with after you get a collective agreement. And there's so much more that a chairperson is involved in. They're involved in different levels of everything, from helping employees with WSIB, the grievance process. Also, you know, when things go to arbitration, you know, the chairperson will help with all of that.
Well, obviously, I would assume making sure that there are age limit entry signs at doorways so minors are not able to get in freely as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you clearly have experience inside. What was it like while you were working with your opponent previously? You said you had experience working with him.
Yes, actually, so Diego and I were actually elected at the same time. So I was elected as the day steward. He was elected as the committee person for Zone A, both of us.
Okay.
So, and we worked side by side for 6 years. So I have a lot of experience working with Diego, and I think that of anyone, I have a very unique perspective to be able to honestly critique his performance. And the proof is really in the pudding. You know, they say, you know, actions speak louder than words, and I don't feel that Diego was a good committee person. You know, I can't honestly think of any successes he had that weren't handed to him, or that weren't, you know,
care of for him, like
or well, or just done through the teamwork, because we basically worked as partners, right? When he wasn't there, I was the one who carried the zone. I was the one who acted as committee person when he wasn't available. You know what I mean? And he wasn't available quite a bit. You know, like yeah, I mean, I don't think that he was at any of the security shift picks after the first year. I was often left to handle everything. And there's just I mean, the issue of his work ethic. I could get into specific details, but again, it's touchy. I can't touch on stuff that has to do with specific employees and stuff like that. But like I said, the proof is really in the pudding. You know what I mean? I mean, we can look at our flyers. I mean, we were handing out flyers. I started by handing out my flyers yesterday, Saturday. So, I mean, it just, to me, it just shows the level of effort you're gonna get. And I mean, I don't know if people can read that.
That is pretty hurting.
I mean, I love it. I mean, and so, I mean, we knew the election was coming. I mean, they had nominations. The election is literally a week out. It's only on one day. You would think that he would have done his homework, right? And this is the problem with Diego, right? He never does his homework, even if he shows up, all right? Like, I love this part here. This is my favorite part, where you read through his flyer, you get down to the bottom, and one of the last things it says right before it says union experience, it says add dates and time here. So, I mean, what does that tell you? Like, was he planning on campaigning on the weekend? You know, like, I know his girlfriend saw me campaigning when she left work. I just figured she called him frantic and he printed this out without proofreading it and then showed up to do a little bit of campaigning. I mean, later on I heard him saying, oh, this is his temporary flyer, but I mean, this is just the root of what I'm talking about, you know? Like, is he going to show up? You don't know. Are we going to have a temporary contract? You don't know. I mean, you just can't do that, you know? Like, you have to show up. You have to know what you're talking about, you know? If you want to go back to the experience in collective bargaining, again, you can either articulate an argument or you can't. You know what I mean? You either know what you're talking about or you don't. And Diego didn't get my vote before, and he won't get my vote again for all those reasons.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thanks.
And I thank you for the opportunity to give you an interview.
Thanks. It's fun. So just in closing, though, anyone who made it this far through this video, thanks. If you want to see more, like and subscribe. No, if you want to see more, please, I need your vote for chairperson, June 2nd, 2023. It's super important. I made this video because I wanted to try and at least speak to everybody a bit more candidly, rather than just frantically handing out flyers at the employee entrance like we have to. So, and because I don't have a team of union reps out petitioning everybody for me on the gaming floor, I'm trying to basically put myself out there through this video. Please come out. Election will be held at Caesars Windsor Empire Cafe and Augustus Cafeteria, June 2nd, 2023, from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. And a floating box will be available at 250 Windsor. Please come out and vote. It's important. Thank you again. In solidarity, Ryan St. Louis.